Hello everyone, my name is Joseph Gabriel Educado, commencing AppsMash. Welcome back! For the second part of the session, we will be exploring what the setup is gonna be like when we want our students to create a micro podcast in Google Slides. Let me walk you through in the layout of the template and explain how this whole template works. The template link can be found on the video description. So with that, let's jump into the slide template, which acts as a home base for each episode. You'll notice here that each episode slide is built out exactly the same. We have a section for the show's description where they can add a little bit of an introduction or an overview of the whole episode. A space where they can add notes and resources or links to external resources as well. Now, since we're working with Mote and Google Slides and we are kind of progressing in a way that we are approaching podcasting in a new direction, you'll notice here that Mote built 3 columns representing the episode flow. In the first column, that's where the students will introduce the show and the concept, which they will be talking about by adding 90-second Mote audio clips. Then, in the subsequent boxes, they could then post a question focusing on the episode concept. And then we have another space for a question reply, and then another space for another question reply in that first column. You can see here then that it's connected. We can now move up and transition to concept number 2 and concept number 3, repeating the process. With that, you now have an entire show built out. What's great about this is that students are now expected to concisely and effectively explain their thinking, both on the question, on the concept, or the reply in 90 seconds. So they have to do some legwork to prepare to figure out what they are going to talk about in that limited amount of time. Oftentimes, it's that case where we provide constraints, most especially to the time and space where they are working, that acts as a benefit for them to think more creatively on how they might explain their thinking in a 90-second limited audio clip. So let me show you now what this looks like when students add audio and then publish this micro podcast, this final product, to share it out for anyone to listen to. First, let's add our show description. Now let's add a Mote. Make sure to install first Mote into your Google Slides extensions. So we click on this and then we record. Click. Hello guys, I am Andy. Welcome to our episode 1. In this episode, we will get up close and personal with the mighty volcanoes. What are they? How are they formed? And what is the role of volcanoes in nature? Climb on and let's get started. Hello guys, I am Andy. Welcome to our episode 1. In this episode, we will get up close and personal with the mighty volcanoes. What are they? How are they formed? And what is the role of volcanoes in nature? Climb on and let's get started. The Mote extension will now add our recorded Mote into our Google Slides. Once that is done, there's the purple audio icon. Position it there. And voila, that is your first Mote for your show introduction. This time, let's add our concept number 1. We click again on our Mote recorder and then we will record something for our As you can see, we now have completed the first column. At this point, let's take a look at the idea of publishing so that we can see how this looks like from a published perspective. Okay, let's go to File, click on File, we go to Share. Alright, you now have here Share to others. Here you can share your micro podcast to specific individuals. This might be your classmates or your teachers. You can add their individual email addresses on the space provided, but you may also want to use the general access option here at the bottom of that. Let's go back again and we click on Publish to Web. Alright, so if you want to share your work to a greater audience, you might want to consider publishing it to the web. Okay, so you need to customize first your micro podcast slides. You need to check the auto advanced slides option and, you know, maybe edit it or in every minute for it to auto advance, and additional restrictions. You may also go here. You may also put a restriction access on your micro podcast file. You just need to check that, and if all are good to go, you just click publish. You get the prompt, you just click on OK, and then you are now prompted that you can now share it as a link, or you can share it through Gmail, Facebook, or Twitter, or you may also embed it as part of your website. In any case, if you want to edit your micro podcast slides, you can always click on stop publishing, click OK, and then the system will just render it unpublished. You now have your very first micro podcast with Mote and Google Slides. Thank you very much for joining me in this session. I hope you have learned something, and I can't wait to see and listen to your very own micro podcasts. See you on the next episode.